Hey, hey, thanks for being on with us live today with Stephanie Laynes and myself, Maxine Drake, as we give away a Beauty Business Summit ticket. And the value is $649 to come to the summit next year in St. Pete Beach, Florida on October 4th and 5th. Joining us for 2 days. This is so exciting. But before, so you have to be on live to win. So that's our stipulation. And the summit ticket is not transferable. So if you win the ticket, you have to use it yourself. You can't give it to somebody else. And we thought we would just go over a couple of little snippets. This is only going to be a little 20-minute webinar. And I do have an assistant on, my assistant Rod. He's going to be gathering some names so that we can put it into a live drawing and hopefully visibly show you as we pull the name out. And if you already purchased your ticket, obviously that's a conflict. So thanks for being, I know there's a lot of people that already purchased their ticket that are on. So since you already have your ticket, well, there you have it. So Stephanie, should we just dive right into
Let's dive in.
What happened like almost a month ago in St. Pete Beach, Florida at the summit on October 6th and 7th this year? Was it magical?
It was amazing. It was magical. It is something that cannot be described. I think that's what I've been telling you since, even when we had our powwow. So Maxine and I, we were like all powwowing after you guys left. What was that? Tuesday. I had a late flight and then I really got out late on Tuesday. But we had a really good powwow and I was just giving her all these ideas and I'm like, here, yes, yes, yes. It was amazing. And the hotel is phenomenal. I'm very much a hotel snob. But the experience when you get there with the event is unlike anything we've seen in our industry. It's been, there's really nothing to compare to. If you've never really experienced something that was, you know, luxury and very much about the esthetician, about the business-minded esthetician, about growing your business, it's so different than any other atmosphere we get in our industry. Even when you go to just a class, there's really nothing that's presented or put onto a different level so that you feel a certain way. This event, you really felt it. You felt it on multiple emotional levels on both days, but you're also being very relatable. It wasn't anything that was pushy or over the top. And I really just enjoyed not only being a sponsor and vendor, I enjoyed, you know, participating, but also being able to sit and experience what everyone else was experiencing too. So I loved it. I'm very excited about it. I did, you know, lives while I was there. So if you follow me on social media, I did lots of lives. I was always on Maxine, like, okay, when is the website going to be done?
I know. She was on me. And you know, she's like, Maxine, you totally downplayed this hotel.
Yes.
And I'm like, I did?
Yes.
And so if you haven't noticed, or maybe you've seen pictures, we're having it at the Don Cesar again. It is
Wonderful.
It's a boutique hotel. It's not a chain. And there's a lot of history. It's a historical hotel. So it has its own private beach. It's very exclusive. Mm-hmm. And so that brings me to a really good point, because what we're going to go into what you can expect for next year, because I've made some really great positive changes, and thanks to you and your feedback. And I just have to give a shout out because I'm wearing my little Cape Cod shirt. So if you have any New Englanders in the house, Cheryl Baba brought this for me at the summit. And here I am giving gifts to everyone else at the summit. And she was so wonderful and brought me a gift. And I just want to do a little shout out. So thank you, Cheryl. But yes, the summit has morphed into this beautiful luxury event. And I just want to be clear on really what luxury is, or what that word, how it's evolved. It doesn't really mean like overtly like throwing around like your money, or like it's really about a luxury mindset. It's really about attention to detail. It's about originality. It's about exclusivity. It's about rich conversations and true connections and actually quality education. So the summit, I think that there's plenty of education out there to nurture the esthetician. And if you would agree with that, please type that in the chat box, because what Summit is, and and if you're an owner, because we had probably had 90% of solopreneurs at the event and about 10% spa owners with a team, but if you're an owner, you know that you have an internal struggle, that you're 70% esthetician, you're 20% entrepreneur, and you're 10% manager, which is why we have such a struggle working on the business. So when you come to the Beauty Business Summit, we are really nurturing the entrepreneur within you, and we're nurturing the manager. We're saying, okay, this is what you need to execute when you go home and put on your little manager hat. And these are the things that you need to do to be that boss lady. Because we already know what to do in the treatment room, And so that's really the guts of what Summit is. And the other part that was missed somehow, and it's my fault if I didn't convey it well enough, was that it is a pay it forward event. Mm-hmm. So not only does your ticket that you're purchasing go toward your 2-day education, we take the proceeds and we pay it forward to a beauty school. So as of today, we've given $20,000 away. Now it's just me, myself, and I, and the help of sponsors and your ticket that are doing it. But I really believe that we need more positive leaders, not just in the world, in our industry. And so we're rewarding leadership with that grant money, and you get to vote. So it's a tight knit, because yes, the Beauty Business Summit panel will scale it down and narrow down 5 finalists, but then we invite those 5 finalists to the summit, and you get a ballot and you vote on, after you've seen their video and you've seen their presentation, on who you really think should go home with that $10,000. And why is that important? I think our industry needs a kick in the pants, and we need to elevate, and we need to produce higher quality service providers if we're all going to win.
Right.
And so that was my big vision for the summit. And so this year's winner was Desiree Marhofer out of Beautiful You Skincare Academy out of Pueblo, Colorado. And she won by an overwhelming response, actually. And so it has nothing to do with me. And, so the attendees vote. So that's something that you do get to look forward to. And if that was missed somehow in other videos, that's what you can expect. Let's go into some other nice and fun changes that I have planned for you for next year. The last 2 years, as you'll see on the site, if you go to the beautybusinesssummit.org site, you'll see that there's a VIP experience and general admission. And what we've done the last 2 years is we separated the meals. And so, general admission is kind of over in one area and VIP is in another area. So what we're going to do different next year is we're going to make sure that we're sharing lunch together. So we're going to share one meal together and break bread together for one meal. There still is going to be that exclusivity for VIP. We still have our breakfast and our dinner, and we have there's going to be some fun things that I have in store for you that first night. I'm not telling. I think that there needs to be an element of surprise, but I think at this point, my reputation, I'll bring it. Don't you worry. I will bring it. So there's that to look forward to. The color coordination for the day one was a big hit. And that was actually a recommendation from Danielle Spohr from our first summit in Hawaii. She's like, oh my God, Maxine, you need to, do this. So we implemented it for the 2019 where we had to wear teal, aqua, or turquoise, something in that color family the first day. And so people actually came up to me the second day and they said, I feel different not being in my colors. I'm like, really? And I heard that over and over. So next year, what you can expect is that color coordination for both days.
Yay.
How fun. And who doesn't look good in aqua, teal, turquoise, something in that family, mint green, like just something in that family. So we have that to look forward to. We also have, this was your suggestions, thank you. We are going to do a Q&A after each speaker. Each speaker was so dynamic this year. I can't even tell you. One of the best compliments that an attendee said the first year was, oh my God, I felt like I was watching 2 days worth of TED Talks. Okay, that's like the biggest compliment anyone could give me, honestly. And so that's pretty much what we bring. There's tangible action steps that you will be able to go home and implement into your business right away. But there's always also these heartfelt stories that kind of tie in and help those tangible things kind of sink in, and you remember them better actually when they're storytelling along with valuable information. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. So we're going to have that 15 minutes of Q&A, and then by popular demand on the second day, we're going to have a panel. So all of the speakers will line up on the stage and we will have questions that you'll be able to submit, and each one of us will be able to answer for you, and you'll get different opinions. And I think different opinions are valuable. I think that there's not just one way to do something, and I really value the input of my colleagues such as Stephanie and Daniela and Becky and Melinda, and so we have just some incredible industry leaders that will share their insights with you. So you have that to look forward to next year. And so yeah, I think that's all the updates that I have, but it is all the updates that I have this year. I do have other things up my sleeve, I'm not going to lie. We got up on stage and danced, and I didn't tell anyone. And so Becky, who's one of my dear friends, she pulls me aside. Sorry, Becky, I'm going to reveal, this is kind of like behind the curtain a little bit. And she's just like, Maxine, can you give me a heads up if we're going to do something like that on stage? I'm like, no. No, because we have to have some element of surprise. We have to have element, things can't always be planned and rehearsed.
I agree.
We got to have a little bit of fun, and we got to bring that fun element into that learning environment. So no, there's going to be new things. I won't have you sing. Well, maybe. Do you sing, Stephanie?
I do, but yeah,
Oh.
I like to dance better than I sing.
Okay.
So I'll stay with the dance. I'll stay over there and dance. I'll even go in between tables if you want me to.
You never know what I got planned. So those are the updates. If you were there last year and you want to type in the chat box something else that maybe you haven't written a review yet or you didn't chime in our group. We have a private group. Once you're an attendee, you get invited, or you can be brought into our private group. And you, if you haven't mentioned in there any other suggestions, there's always room to grow. It's like, I remember the first year and I asked people, I'm like, okay, so what would you like to see me do different? And people were like, no, you pretty much nailed it, Maxine. I'm like, no, come on. No, seriously, let's dig deep. But I was really humbled by that, honestly. And I think that in order to be world class, we need to deliver world class, but there's always room to grow. And that goes for us as spa owners as well. So, that gets you thinking of when you're around and in that luxury environment, that gets you thinking and your wheels turning of how else can I bring it to my own practice and how can I level it up? Even if it's something small, it's probably something big to your own clients. So let's see. Joy is like, it would be an honor to attend, but please let someone else win the ticket.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what?
Amazing, Joy. That's awesome.
If you pull my name, because you can't commit a year in advance.
She can commit.
She cannot. That's what she's saying.
She said, pull my name because I can commit a year in advance and would hate to have someone that can miss out. Oh.
Well, that's interesting. See, we've created this pay it forward, beautiful energy that, there was even an attendee the first year, this is a true story, that was so moved. She bought her ticket right away for a VIP, and she's like, Maxine, I want to buy a general admission ticket to pay it forward. Just
wow.
Like, yeah. And I said, okay. So we ended up gifting, that general admission ticket to someone who really wanted to be there and had some other things come up. So this is like, it doesn't surprise me that Joy just said that. Let someone else have it, because this is like, you're part of the energy now. And this pay it forward concept is really living even through this webinar, which is really crazy. I know, it's crazy to me, but this is what we've created, and this is the love that's there. And this is pretty much what you can expect when you come. So let's see, we have about 10 minutes. Mandy says she's in. It comes from the top, Maxine. Well, I'm the gatherer. That's my role.
She's a great gatherer, I'll tell you.
What did you say? I heard you had a little conversation with someone and said that I'm really good at getting people to do. I know that was a compliment.
It was. And I did. I came back to you at the event and said, I wish I would have paid attention when you invited me to the Hawaii event. And I actually apologized to Maxine once we got home and everything was done. And I said, I apologize for a lot of things that we had not connected, that we were both passing in the same industry, but never took the time to know who each other was. And that event really got me to understand the value of stopping and speaking. And it's not something where I want something from somebody or somebody wants something from me. So her and I had a really good heart to heart once we got home and unpacked everything, because, Maxine has just been in demand now that everybody's giving her all these, things, which is great. But it makes you really stop and say, why did I not ever decide? I wish I would have went to Hawaii, because I'm like, dang, what was I doing that was so busy that I couldn't just stop? And I think that speaks to an experience. To have an experience you can't really describe, but it's, telling people you have to go. You have to go to experience it. It's amazing. I'm very excited for next year. I think it's going to be, I think this event is definitely going to be starting to kind of shake up our industry a little bit, bringing it to another level. We don't get these types of things until someone like Maxine decides to really put something together and show that it can be done. It doesn't have to be in the traditional, flea market, yelling, screaming, running type of atmosphere. So yes.
Yeah, no, it's really true. We do have Hawaii on our radar again. So maybe by year 5, you can look forward to, I feel like the attendees will be ready for another destination summit again. So we want it to be special. And I think that year 5 will be special. Maybe by that point, we'll be able to give more than one grant away.
Ooh,
We'll
yeah.
see. But I think it's interesting that, what you said. I think that, also just, yes, the quality is there. I envisioned this a long time ago. And if anything, if I could share anything, even a takeaway for this webinar is like, if there's something that you're thinking of doing and no one else has done it yet and feels a little scary because no one else has done it yet, I think that the naysayers can really pull you down and you can't listen to them. I had a handful of those and I just kind of went, and said, no, this is something that people have been asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I'm going to create it and we're going to do it and we're going to come together. And so, yeah, so Hope says, I vote Hawaii. Yep. I think that, we can't be afraid to think outside of the box.